Families fleeing Sudan are arriving in remote parts of northern South Sudan, where humanitarian agencies are struggling to provide emergency aid. Juma Ajol first fled her home in South Sudan to a refugee camp in Ethiopia's Gambela region and later moved to Sudan, where she hoped to rebuild her life. But when conflict broke out in Sudan in April, she escaped with her family across the border to South Sudan. I never wanted to come back to South Sudan because of the way we left in 2016. It's a terrible memory that still comes to my mind. I was in Bentiu when war broke out. We had to walk 14 kilometers from Bentiu to Gambela to find safety. We later settled in Sudan. The rainy season and the lack of donor funding has hampered efforts to help people move away from the border, worsening the humanitarian situation at the increasingly overcrowded transit center in the border town of Renk.
Our main role as UNHCR here is to manage the transit center, to ensure that refugees and returnees coming from Sudan have access to water, clean water. They have access to food. They also have available sanitary facilities, including core relief items when they just arrive.
The influx of South Sudanese returnees and refugees from Sudan is putting pressure on the limited resources of a country recovering from a protracted civil war and the devastating impact of climate change.
For UNHCR, we are taking all refugees to Maban, where we have the refugee camps. For the South Sudanese returnees, we are working closely with other partners like IOM to make sure they transfer them to their places of origin.
Since the start of the conflict in Sudan in April, about 6 million people have been forced to flee their homes in 6 months, with no end to the violence in sight. Many people seeking safety continue to arrive in neighboring countries.